Hello. Today I just wanted to go over something I've been thinking about. Uh, so I see a lot of these patterns like over the past years, especially in crypto. It's endless, and I've been wondering like what are those? I mean, they look like flags in a way. They you could draw like a line like this, and but then you hope for a breakout and you don't see it. Then I mean, this one kind of looks like a cup and handle. Uh, I think it would count as one, though maybe you would still need to see a little bit more of the upper move right there. Um, but that's just one example. There's other ones here. So they're far less looking like up and handles. They don't really have the time to go back upwards, but they break out. And if you want to draw a flag here, it's so curved up, you'll never really catch the whole structure. So I thought maybe it's best to start just accepting that this pattern is what it is and not try to necessarily have it be anything else, not force it into a pre existing framework. So here, I mean, it looks weird, but whenever we touch the yellow line, it's a support. So it's kind of interesting. Um, so I thought, let's start to think more about this pattern because I feel like anytime we make a new leg up, um, they won't necessarily be the best performers, but when they go from here to there, it's usually like a couple days move. Like it's as explosive as it gets. So I'm thinking maybe I can keep trading my breakouts, which are mostly flags, but especially if I have positions that are kind of deep in the money, there's probably nothing wrong to try to catch a couple of these over time and get better at it. But I'm not sure yet what's the good entry exits for these. So I just thought let's start to look at some of these patterns more. And so I started using these yellow lines on TradingView a lot, but I also built a program. Uh, so first of all, exponential decay is how I'm currently calling it. You can also see that I think in exponentially depreciating uh, depreciation schedule. Sorry for repeating depreciation a lot. But essentially, it's an accounting standard where you could value an asset and depreciate it exponentially, a bit like this line over time. And that would be a linear decay or a linear depreciation. So when I think of a flag, I think more of a linear decay. So right now we're seeing that uh, with the altcoin index from into the block. See the straight line right here? So that's linear decay, and its support is at linear. So if we break out here, it's pretty clean, then we retest here, and then hopefully we keep moving further up. So that I'm familiar with, that I think is clear. What's a bit weird is when you get these, that bottom part here, because it's not as clear when you're breaking out in my view. Maybe you guys know, but for me, I just want to explore it a little bit more. So also something worth noting is when you see linear decay, you also see booms and buffs within the exponential decay. So that's a bit like here you see these booms and busts. It's the same thing, but from what I understand, that's how you end up seeing these kind of curved swings that are diminishing over time. a bit like this, whereas on this one, there's if they're within like a channel like this, they're not necessarily diminishing as much. So I'm not sure that's relevant, but I just want to start thinking about it, and so I just thought of sharing this with you, and kind of keep a log of this process over time. So exponential decay can be found in plenty of phenomenons, including product hype cycle, which tokens we're trading are products. They're financial products. So we see these hype cycles, and so that's an example. But it's also found in nature, in social phenomenons, even like pandemic. Anyway, so for now, the exponential decay, and I also included exponential growth because it's kind of the reverse. So I just wanted to keep that in the back of my mind as well, because I feel it's kind of like the yin and the yang. So that's the formulas that I've been using, and the program basically goes through a list of tickers. So right now I use KuCoin. I think it's like 800 tokens, and it's trying to give me a R square of an exponential growth curve. So for example, this is Solana. You can see a 94 R square for exponential growth. So it's growing exponentially pretty cleanly relative to the formula that I just provided. But if you look at the decay, it's 0.1. So and you can see here, it's not really decaying exponentially. So I think that's like the ideal pattern, and that's how you get to flags. It's like going up a lot, then consolidates, and then eventually you break out that consolidation for the next move up. So I think that's synonymous of a stronger holder base, because you're growing exponentially, so there's like mania or whatnot, but then when the party is over, people are not selling, meaning they're really confident there's probably a next leg to the mania, right? So that's ideal, because I think you have less chances of being wrong. I mean, it's all a matter of having tight risk, and so I'm not saying one pattern is over another, but traditionally this is the type of thing that we have more data on and is kind of a more well-known clean setup. All right, so let's look at this one. 85 R square, 85%, so it's pretty good. And same thing here. But you can see when you match exponential growth and decay, it can also be more mean reverting, because you're growing really fast, but then you're also decaying very fast. So, another example. So it's also a matter of the length of time, right? So if you can have sometimes exponential decay over a very small period, and in this case, even though you have both exponential growth and exponential decay, like it really depends on how long it decays and grows, right? So something to think about. So anyway, that's the program I created. I can show you quickly. Let's see if I can run it. Not sure we're going to be seeing the flag output because I still haven't figured out. Yeah, we don't see it. But essentially, you can see here, whenever there's a new line, I get a new image that you've seen, and I can look at it, and if I find it interesting, I can choose it and add it to the book. So that's one thing. The other thing is, because this is kind of a long process, so I thought let's create a score. Let's create a score so that I can basically look at hundreds and filter them, sort them. So that's basically what it is. I'll put it on GitHub. I'll put a link on YouTube if you guys want to use it. But essentially, that's what it's doing. Yeah. All right. So that's for the code. So that's the output. So the ticker, the exchange, the growth R squared, decay, and the score, which is growth minus decay, but it's not really useful for now. I think I have to factor in the time of growth, time of decay, things like that. So we'll see over time. So that's it for today. Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. So next time I'll probably have more discoveries studying that pattern, and I'll be sharing them with you. All right. Cheers.